Well, it's hello from me.
And it's hello from me.
So today we're at King's Cross, aren't we? So what are we going to do today, Phil?
Well, it's not the most obvious place to come, is it? I mean, when we were growing up, this is definitely not a place where you want to spend your time.
No, it's actually, it was quite a dodgy area, wasn't it, Phil?
It was, yeah. But look, a lot has happened since then. We're going to see some really nice new redevelopments.
Yep.
We're going to go to a couple of much older places.
So it's a little bit less dodgy then, yeah?
Far less dodgy.
Just to the north of St Pancras Station is the old Pancras Church. It's probably been used by Christians since 314 CE. Now, this church used to be very far from the centre of London, but now it's right in the centre of London. So you can see how times have changed, how things have changed over time. These days, as well as being a church, it's also used for concerts and gigs, so you can come and listen to live music, and you can also hear trains in the background, probably just behind me over there. So behind me is the Burdett Coutts Memorial Sundial. Now in the 1860s, part of the graveyard here was removed in order to prepare some space for the St Pancras train station. And this memorial was created for those graves which were removed. Now, the person who was in charge of the digging was Thomas Hardy, who later became that very famous novelist who wrote books like Far from the Madding Crowd. Now, Hardy Tree behind me here, or used to be behind me here, was a tree that grew between the gravestones that were removed from the graves. Unfortunately, in 2022, it fell down. Behind me is the tomb of Sir John Soane and his wife. Sir John designed the tomb himself, but these days we really remember him because of his museum, which is at Lincoln's Inn Fields. Also, some people think that this is the inspiration for the red phone box which George Gilbert Scott designed. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks like it to me. There's a Beatles connection here as well, so of course I'm going to have to talk about that. We're going back to the summer of 1968, and around this time they were recording the White Album, and they decided that they needed some new publicity photographs. So they got together with some photographers, including, most importantly, Don McCullum, who is now actually best known as a war photographer. But there was a few of them together. They went out, as you'll see, on Sunday, 28th of July, 1968. They went to various places in London, including Highgate and Old Street, and then came here. They took photographs at the fountain, standing in front of the church door, a few other places as well. Photographs that McCullum decided that he wanted to take when he saw crowds of people gathering outside the church gates. He got the Beatles to join that crowd, and you can see those photographs in the gatefold sleeve of the red and blue compilation albums that came out in the 1970s and that were reissued in 2023. George Gilbert Scott was also responsible for this magnificent building that's on Euston Road. It's easily one of the greatest buildings of the Victorian era, the 19th century, essentially, that we have in London. It originally opened as the Midland Grand Hotel in 1873, although curiously, it wasn't completed until almost 3 years later. When it's been a hotel, it's always been an incredibly luxurious place to stay. It had lifts when it opened, which was very, very advanced. I like the fact that they had a fireplace in every room at the time as well, although this was still very, very far away from the days of ensuite bathrooms. Eventually, it closed. It closed in 1935, and for a long time, it was used as offices. Then it reopened in 2011. It's been a hotel ever since. Pop fact as well, inside was where the Spice Girls filmed their video for their debut single, Wannabe. So go and pay tribute there.
We both know that London was a major Roman settlement.
That's right, yeah.
But what did the Romans ever do for us, eh?
Well, actually, not a lot that was good in the eyes of the people who lived here at the time.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they did a lot, but there was a major uprising just around this area that we are now.
Okay,
One of the most important figures in British history, or I don't know if I can say British history, but the history of these islands anyway. Boudica, Queen Boudica, the leader of the Iceni tribe.
So she was like the kind of brave heart of her day, right?
If you want to say that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she led an uprising in this area.
Right.
We go just down a little bit south here.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got an area that was previously called Broad Ford, and that's where you could cross the River Fleet.
Great.
It's called Battle Bridge now.
Right.
And she was defeated in the end. Incredibly brave. But sadly, her life was ended. And the story is that she is now buried somewhere under platform 9.
All right, is that next to platform 9 3/4?
It is pretty much, yeah. So even though there's been a lot of development in the last few years, particularly since the 1990s, when the Channel Tunnel was announced to be going to St Pancras, there are still some natural places. Look, we've got Camley Street Natural Park here. It's free of charge to go in, and it's a beautiful bit of countryside. You don't even have to leave the city to go and see it.
So Phil, you still haven't told me why King's Cross is called King's Cross.
Well, the reason is there was a statue in the area put up of King George IV. Now, he was king in the early 1800s. People absolutely hated this statue, and to be honest, I don't think they thought that much of him either. So the statue didn't last for very long, but the name stuck.
This area has changed a lot. We've got Coal Drops Yard behind me, Granary Square in front of me. So it's kind of retained some of its natural, some of its original character, even though now it's been transformed into a place of leisure where people can sort of hang out, have coffee or relax by the canal.
We're just at the edge of Coal Drops Yard now, and behind me we've got Regent's Canal. If we go in that direction, in about 30 minutes we'll be in Camden Town.
Well, Phil, I reckon that's it for today. Yeah, don't you?
I think so, yeah. We've had a good morning.
I think we have, yes. So we're going to carry on walking next to the canal up to Camden, aren't we, next? Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Another 25 minutes or so and we will be there.
So, yeah, so maybe we'll do a video about Camden in the future.
I'm sure we will.
But bye for now.
Bye, everybody.